say 1968 Camaro convertible, badged as a super sport. We believe that there's a good chance that it is a true super sport. Unfortunately, with first generation Camaros, you can't tell a lot by the VIN number. Kind of a barn find, you might say, a garage, old school garage find, barn find. 1985, this car was parked, pulled out of the garage about 3 months ago. Kind of gone through, engine, new fluids, tune up, you know, new battery, all that jazz. And turned out to be a pretty good little driver. The guy that I got it from has had it in the garage the entire time, and he actually was building it back in the early 80s as a drag car, which I'm not really that big into. So it's got kind of a high performance 454 engine. It's got a automatic transmission. It's got some low gears to it, so it's going to giddy up quick, but going to wind out pretty fast too. Transmission shifts out perfect, but it leaves you wanting the fourth gear. So quite honestly, probably the first thing that I'd do to this car is change the trunk out. We need to get some lower gears into it, because the transmission really shifts out well. And the engine runs great. If you can hear it, it's wound up a little bit with the gears being so low, but you can hear that it's running great. Plenty of power. I've got I took a look on Craigslist last night, thinking about putting this car up for sale, and it's weird, but for the $18,000 to $20,000 range, most of these cars are straight project because their convertibles are so rare, first generation. It's got a good sounding engine to it. Wipers work. All the lights, turn signals work, brake lights work. See that the turn signal switch in the dash is working. I'm going to shut her off and let's take a look around the car a little bit. I think this is I think it's a driving project, and like I said, I think if you change the chunk out of the rear end, you'd have a great driver like it is. This paint, I'm thinking, I hope you saw, of course, I went to the front to show that the lights are on. Back here you can see that the lights are on. I don't have another person with me to show you, but the brake lights work. The turn signal's working fine. It's got an old replacement radio. I don't have it tuned in, but anyways, that comes on. I don't believe the fan, I'm not sure that the fan is on. Let's see. So I don't think that the fan is on right now, but the wipers do work. Everything's here for the most part. I would say everything's here indicating that this is a true super sport. Now, that being said, there's that hesitation in my voice, and that's because, I think I said this a little bit earlier, might be repeating myself, Chevrolet didn't do so good a job on the VIN numbers telling us what they were building. They just told us it was a Camaro and it's a convertible, and that's about it. Still retains that original clutch. We believe it was a 4-speed car. The tires that are on it right now are maybe a touch big. If we put air shocks on the back, they're scrubbing just a hair if you're going over any major bumps, but cruising around town they seem to be pretty good. The paint on this car, it's like, man, it's shined up awesome. It's got a couple of little imperfections, but to be honest with you, I think you could take it to the paint shop, toss the guy a couple $100 bills, and have him and have him make this thing look really awesome without having to repaint it. I really believe that. Now, depending on what you're looking for, if you want to take this thing to the $50,000 driver, I mean, show car that it could be, then, you know, more power to you. So as I get up close to it, you can see the bumper's original. It's in good shape, but it does have a little bit of a patina to it. Like I said, or I think I said earlier, these badges seem to look original. They're kind of a creamy color. They're not the bright white like the brand new ones. Got a couple of little paint chips. You got one right there. Got one here. You just got things like that all around the car. Got a spot where because of the air cleaner that was on it, the hood was closed and the paint popped there. The nice thing is that feeling it with my finger does not feel like it's dented up. It just feels like it's almost like a pop the paint. And I really do believe a good, well-skilled paint and body guy could walk around the car and just give it a good touch up. But you know, this is the kind of car that goes as high as you want it to go. I mean, when these things are fully done, a Camaro Super Sport Convertible 1968 is a $40,000 car, 50, 60. I've seen them high, depending on how high you want to go with it. I think you got a good straight body to work with here. It does have a manual top. It does have the rear lower valance part dented in right there. I think they were backing out the driveway and hit something there, so it's a little bit dented in and probably needs a replacement valance or body guy to straighten that out. Other than that, the rest of the body on the car looks to be good. The deck lid seems to be straight. All the lines on it seem to be really straight. The doors seem to close pretty good. The lines on the body seem to be very good. I don't see any rust bubbles or anything like that. There is a little dent here. It's been kind of touched up. I do these videos to try and be super honest. This is where they always rust out. And I don't see the traditional bubbles, not even pea-sized ones that you often see on these cars, especially when you find something like this as a driver. It was parked inside. And I want to show you down this side too. I mean, no rust on the quarter panels that I'm seeing. And this is not a recent repaint. This paint job is 1985 at this point. It could have been painted in 85 and parked, I don't know, but I can tell you it ain't a brand new paint job. But we hit it with some wax and it really shined up awesome. From 20 feet away, everybody and their mama wants this car. It looks freaking sweet. When you get up on it, it's, you know, it's just got those little imperfections like I said. Interior cleaned up really nice. Got great door panels on it. I wouldn't do anything to the interior if it was me. If this was my car, probably take it back to a 350, put a 4-speed in it, probably put a 4-speed Muncie in it, change out the rear end, have my touch-up paint guy spend a couple $100 touching it up, and I'd drive it. It does need a new dash cap. It's got a couple little cracks on the dash there. But I like this car because it's all here. If you put a tan-out cover on this thing right now, drive it just like it is. It's gorgeous. It really is a pretty car. These things are so rare and so coveted. I'm going to pop the hood. Original in fantastic shape. I mean, inner fender wells you could eat off of. Like I said, this is an original red car. You pull the body by Fisher tag is still attached to the firewall. It's got a 454. It's got a nice looking engine detail to it. It's just been cleaned up. Looks good. Unilight distributor. It's got a super coil on it, MSD ignition. And the only shame in this car right now is that chunk in the back. Change the gears out, drive it to, this is what I do. Change the gears out, put a tan-out cover on it, and drive it like it is. Enjoy it for a while. Because most people, for the price that I'm asking for this car, most people aren't finding one. You gotta spend another $10,000. Of course, you know, you might get that little bit nicer car for $10,000 more. Show you the undercarriage real quick. I haven't noticed any rust underneath. Frame seems to be good shape. oil pan, you know, looks like it's hit a couple spots. You know, been dented up a little bit in the past. There's your frame rails, floor pans. That rear floor pan piece right there has been cut out, and a new floor pan's been dropped in from the inside. So there's no rust in that, and that's pretty normal. That's a. I'll tell you where you can see the age on this car is the exhaust, because that's a very old exhaust system. Trying to get the, there we go, the camera adjust. You can see the floor pans. One little spot right there of rust, but like I said, the floor pan on the inside. Frame rails look good down the body, underneath the doors and the valance. Looks really, really good. If it didn't have that one tiny little rust hole on the that rear part of that floor pan there, that's about the size of my thumb, then I'd call this a rust-free car, from what I can tell. You know, that's without, you know, tearing it down or anything. This is a real true survivor, though. It just really is. This is a true survivor. I mean, if somebody parks a car in 1985 and throws a cover over it, the reason it's got a couple dings on it is probably because the kids are moving their bicycles around it. This is what you get. Iconic American classic sports car, candy apple red. I mean, it's just, this is a cool car. This is the car in the garage right now. When all the friends come over for the football games, they want to sit in it and pull it out of the garage, take pictures with it, tell their, you know, friends that they rode in it. I mean, this car is so cool, and somebody's gonna have a blast owning it. So there you have it, 1968 Chevy Camaro Super Sport. She's ready to be had fun with.